Everybody.
No, you're looking good, DeRola.
I'm all set too. I'm all set too. Don't worry. Paul's good too.
I think Sean needs to sit over here.
To be on TV. Oh, is that why you're over there?
Hey,
That's good.
can we see him on there? Oh, wait a minute.
I
Hey,
think he needs to move over here.
That's really good.
yeah.
So that's the spot right
We're gonna
there.
kick him out of here in about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Can anybody see me kicking you under the table?
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank
Morning.
you all for showing up. I have 8:03 on Friday, March 13th, 2020. We're going to start a little bit different today by calling to order a meeting of the Governance Committee. If you would please, Diane, roll call.
Okay, everybody's here. Kendall Roller skipped, then the CD, Dan DePhillips isn't, and Carol.
Very good, thank you. And we do have a quorum. We'll start by the approval of the previous board minute meetings. I believe we have none. Correct. So we'll move right on to legal. Kevin, anything?
No report today.
Okay, old business. Seeing none, move on to new business, consideration of the 2019 property report.
All right, so basically what the committee does, of course, is recommend to the board that we either approve or disapprove the property report. Property report is done yearly as part of my report to the state on the Paris, and it meets the PAAA requirements. So what we do every year is assemble a list of all the property by tax ID number. And you can see we have shared owners, so you're going to see almost exactly the same report in the governance committee of the land restoration portion. So, I mean, I'd be happy to answer anything. Only one change really is we sold Chunk of Butts Road to Armstrong, if you remember, and that's reflected here and reflected in the land reps.
Any questions or comments? If not, be happy to entertain a motion to accept the 2019 property report.
So move.
Ken, seconded by John. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. At this time, I will entertain a motion to move into executive session, inviting staff and council to join us to discuss the credentials of individuals to fill a vacant board seat.
You okay with that? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Sorry,
John?
there's donuts and coffee.
Seconded
Second.
by Ken. All those in favor
should be
signify by saying
Maybe 10
aye.
minutes. Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are now in executive
Who's the
session.
first?
Sean.
Oh,
Sean Bolt. So this is the list last month. Last month, I'll ask you all to. Oh, that might be bad. Shut up, Jim.
The governance committee is adjourned. Just wait till Skip gets
So I
back.
just want you to know, when things are supposed to be off, make sure that green light is off. That means the one thing.
So
And it's
we
also a
live or
red,
not?
we're live. And it's also a red light on there.
So we on now?
We're on.
Okay, I'm just gonna wait till Skip gets back.
Oh, Sean hung in there for us.
Thank you for waiting, Sean.
Sit right up here. Oh, we're on tape camera now. Oh, God. Oh.
Actually, I can turn.
Development Agency, Friday, March 13th at 8:38 a.m. If you would please, Diane, roll call.
Okay, Paul Handel, Kendall Roller, Skip Draper, Dan Massidi are present, Dan Phillips, Carol D'Agostino are not.
And we do have a quorum, thank you. Let's begin with approval of the previous board minutes of February 14th, 2020. You all received a copy. Any corrections, additions, deletions? Motion made by Skip to accept, seconded by John. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Financials, Mr. Whipple.
Financials, page 1. Bottom left, KeyBank IDA 21/029/4. Nothing currently in the pilot account. Revolving loan fund 88276. The rest of those are lane restoration in the KeyBank Medina project 3220, and in the U.S. Bank, which is the Western New York Tax Stabilization Fund, is 931,651.36. Moving forward, of course, are the details on those accounts. Page 9 is a balance sheet without the pilot. Balance sheet. Our balance sheet is fine. We don't have any cash, which is always the story. Balance sheet with pilot on page 11. And then the P&L on page 13, just the consolidated one. Our P&L is fine. We're really not incurring a lot of other costs outside of it. It's just our cash flow stinks. You guys must get tired of hearing me say that. But there's some good news on the horizon, I think. So, the details on the next few pages. Then on page 17 is the transaction. That's kind of the detail on what went in and out of our main checking account. And I'll keep going, and then you guys can ask me any questions. Page 18 is the summary for the loan and the revolving loan fund, and we are current. Correct, Diane?
Yep.
And they are paying now down on the principal.
Yeah.
All right. So we had 6 months of interest only and then starting to make payments with. And then the balance sheet for the revolving loan fund, really not much to comment there. And then the quick register on page 21, and that kind of takes you through the financials. Kind of boring right now, but
Questions or comments about financials?
As far as transaction, I was going through the transaction list.
Sure.
The Time Warner, I see a funds transfer to pay. That transfer, what fund does that come in through, that 10,000? Fund transfer for bills?
well, it wasn't Time Warner.
No,
We do
under
move
that.
cash around between the corporations.
So where did that come from, the lane restoration or
Medina project.
The Medina project.
Medina project? Okay.
Any other questions? If not, be happy to entertain a motion to accept the financials for both the IDA and the ORLF.
So moved.
John, seconded by Ken. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. County loan repayment update.
I did sit with Kim, and she was very understanding. They moved up. In fact, today we're looking maybe for our check. They moved up our second quarter payment, which will help us tremendously with our cash flow. So they were very cooperative, and I think.
Thank you, Orleans County.
Yep.
Pilot report, Diane.
Everybody's current.
Very good. Moving on to committee reports, business development, Gabriel.
Well, we have good news. The Western New York Energy Village of Medina water contract has been signed.
Oh,
And
that is good
and,
news.
I didn't know that.
we've worked very diligently as a group to bring that to fruition. And then we will go into the next phase of that as it pertains to us. I heard good news that the Niagara Foods is hiring, and someone that they were interviewing called, and I think this was prior to this, slowdown. I mean, they called me a couple weeks ago, so I don't know what that does to him, but they certainly have been out and they've been interviewing and looking at candidates, and the candidates were very responsive.
Very good.
From what the candidates told. Jim and I met with John Curis from the USDA, going over the available programs, and we haven't sat with John in a while, and we reviewed some things and looking at where, in fact, some of our projects might go or could go, or just kind of reestablishing contact. I've been attending some local meetings, both, encouraging the village of Medina, and both the Ridgeway meetings, the planning board, and the actual Ridgeway meeting. There's a lot going on there with projects that they have, and I've had a few calls from the public, and as to the position of the IDA and inquiries. So I've been in the line of fire over there. That's good.
I was going to call you our ambassador.
I don't know. Well, I don't think that's what I was. I don't think that's where one of them was going. But it's part of what we do, and it's part of what we should be doing. We just can't. We just have to be able to, in good times and bad times, we got to be out there. Just the way it is. We do continue to respond to the ongoing public inquiries about the hotel. And we're going to have the hotel. We're going to have the hotel that we were promised, the way it was, all of the accoutrements that we felt that we were going to have or wanted to have, and they expected to deliver. So that is, I just can't say precisely how that's unfolding at this particular point to the public. Any inquiries or any questions that you have of me? And we're also talking with some other businesses, on some of our programs and what we're doing and how we're doing it. And it's something that is evolving, as far as how we can help some of the businesses that are out there and dealing with some issues that they have.
Is that at a total standstill?
Pardon me?
Is the hotel at a total standstill right now?
Right, there isn't anybody on site. We do know that 80% of the hotel has been completed.
Well, the reason I ask is just an observation, really not a question, because I come by there multiple times a day. It looked to me like more product has been delivered into the parking lot. And I can't, and it's possible I just didn't take notice of it, but it seemed to me
I noticed that.
there's more pallets and stuff in the parking lot, so something.
I thought there was too.
Okay.
I thought that there was too. Jim and I went inside. So,
Oh, really?
oh, yes, yes. No, we've been through
And
the
we're not
interior.
arresting.
There's no one there.
No, we went through the interior of the hotel and they, so, yeah, we are in very close contact with them and we continue to be in close contact with them and we continue to deal with the, questions that we have. And we have questions.
I think something's moving there because regardless of what the issues are, I mean, give me more product. There's something isn't moving.
Exactly. I think you are correct in that. I think you are absolutely correct. Any other questions or?
So we're still moving forward with the tourism view and including the cobblestone in our view. We've had 6 shows, 7 coming up. Exposure was about 300,000 people, 330,000. So we're still moving that footprint. The marketplace is slowing down, not related to this issue. So we're still moving forward that we will have a hotel and we're getting it out there. So we've got a new travel guide coming out and you're going to see some cobblestone connection in that travel guide. So we're still moving positively forward.
And considering everything that's going on, adaptability
Yeah.
and flexibility are important.
Yeah.
And we've always been that kind of organization. So
Right.
I'm optimistic.
Yep, same here.
I think Jim probably would want to cover Beaumont or.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, Beaumont, they have completed their site plan and BME has sent it to us and they're right on, they're right there with their site plan. We are waiting for some completed applications from them before scheduling them again, before they go before the Medina Planning Board. But as far as their site plan, they've complete, it's pretty much completed and we're happy with it.
And then on the land sale side, Kevin's group finished up the,
We've drafted the land sale
Yeah.
agreement for the sale of the land for that project.
and that's gone to both. So, it's about 10 acres.
Okay, moving on, project update, page 22.
Page 22, we already talked about Napa Foods, hotel, Lighthouse Wind, there's no activity there right now. Snappy, Gay talked with Kyle.
And Snappy is, they're still transitioning into the Burns and Manic facility, but it seems to be going very well.
Good.
They seem to be happy and, life is good.
Yeah.
And they've also had relief from the DEC. There were some constraints there on the property where they couldn't dig anything and they couldn't do several different things. But that's been, the DEC's been very cooperative because that held Snappy up. Snappy had to put in a loading dock. And they couldn't pour, so everything seems to be moving along with regard to Snappy and there it is.
Heritage Wind. Sean's here, he'd probably give us a little update. I'll tell you what I know first. I think we're going to have a meeting next week. It's looking pretty good for the municipality, the taxing authorities. At this meeting that's coming up, Apex will be there at the beginning of it, and then that committee will decide whether they stay or get shoot out as they talk about final things. So hopefully that'll help some moving this forward. about Apex. I did meet with Apex, their vice president, Carlos,
Yes,
and Carmen and Jennifer.
yes.
Yep. So I went over to their offices and talked to them a little bit and met them, and so they're fine. And maybe Sean, I don't know, you're here. You want to give a little anything that I left out?
We've kind of like slowed down on a number of things with it. We are close with our pilot, not with the pilot. With the HCA, we're right there. We've got the numbers I think that we're going to live with. There's still a little tweaking we want to do with Heritage/Apex. As far as the decommissioning, we've got that package. We met as a team and went through a lot of their decommissioning. We've thrown it back at them. We're waiting to see how they feel about it. But we've worked out a decommissioning plan that I think it should work. We'll see what Apex sends back to us.
Excuse me, by decommissioning, you mean tearing them down? for
Yes.
some reason?
At the end of the contract, if they decide not to renew the project, or if they all of a sudden they have a turbine that is not operating correctly, and they decide they're not going to put another one there, they have to decommission that. So it's taking it down completely, restoring the land to the way it was. I mean, that's going to be a huge base that they're putting in to the ground. But what they'll do is they'll remove a large portion of it off the top, and then bring soil back in, so the farmer will be able to utilize that field once again 100%. So, and that's at no cost to us. There'll be a bond that we have control over, and that will be in the package is still there.
So you're still at 33 turbines, is that the number still?
33 is the number they're talking about with asbestos 5.6. And the numbers we're working with is the nameplate capacity. So that's 5.6 megawatts is their max that one wind turbine can produce, times a 33. And that comes out to 184.
184.
Yep.
That's right.
So, and then times, right now, the figure that we have right now is 9,000 per megawatt, right?
Make sure you're on TV. So
I got you.
no, not you're on, but your voice is whatever you say
Okay, I
is being
understand.
streamed.
I thought maybe you wanted me.
No, you're fine.
Okay, so that's what we're at right now, and that's one of those, finer points we're still working out with Apex, and then those are the numbers that we come back on the pilot and discuss with the taxing authorities. But I'll be interested to hear maybe sometime about what your feelings are, why Apex is going to move forward with us rather than sit back and wait to see if Article 23 gets passed.
I mean, that was just a statement made by, because I asked it very specifically.
I did too.
Yeah.
I hammered home to them, is this all lost, all these years of negotiating and everything that we've been working on? And they said, no, they want to continue and follow through with it.
Yeah.
Because of all they have invested so far. And,
That's exactly how I understood it.
they said if the Article 23 comes, then they got to start all over again from ground zero.
Gotcha.
So they just assume get the project ahead, and if so be it, we continue with it and get it built.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you for the
Yeah,
update.
Brewery distillery, that's kind of on hold. The Zambito project, I don't think we have an update.
No, I talked with them and they still are pursuing, but they're doing it at their own pace.
An equipment upgrade here in Albion is, we're still waiting on paperwork with them. I think it's still a viable project. It's just slow and easy. Falls Road, culvert bridge replacement. Evan and I are working it. It's a little tough. Our contact at Northern Borders I don't know what happened to her. She was there, now she's gone, and we have a new contact, and he's been out sick, and blah, 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 blah. Project Hydrogrow is probably the last time we'll see this year. I haven't heard anything from them in a while. Mid-South, Mid-South's been here. They're recruiting. I don't know, Gay, you wanna?
We've certainly met with a couple of the folks, and they are recruiting from Albion, and I think they're training them in Warsaw. Other than that, we haven't got any other information except that they expect to be here and they're moving
Right.
forward. Definitively, there's a lot to be filled in. So
Was
we're
there-
around, we're available, we're working, we work closely with Kelly on this, Kelly Gabala,
Yeah,
and,
My question.
we exchange, nothing goes on that all of us aren't involved in. So there's a lot of collaboration.
Jacasa, was a separate little project that we were working through. So that's basically is done, and then we'll be talking about the sale of the land to Jacasa in another section of the meeting. CRFS 2020, really haven't kicked that off at all. We had an initial meeting at Christmas, and then it's been kind of quiet. And then Stockham Lumber, I have a meeting tomorrow. Oh no, what's today? Friday. I have one this afternoon.
Ooh, good, good.
Go
Good.
see a man about a railroad.
All right.
So,
Got that railroad built?
You've been
So,
wanting to do that.
I can't wait.
There's certain things, I'm gonna tell you something
Oh,
there.
we're gonna get him an engineer.
Oh, man,
I have one.
Oh, dear. Why, oh my God.
that didn't go on your list.
No.
I-
So that's still in the planning stage. It's not a huge project, but it's kind of a neat little project.
Yeah.
Nothing on the spec building. We're kind of going back and forth with Bomex building on that site right now. Bates Road redevelopment. Haven't found anybody who's just dying to get in there. Strategic plan, I'm just really falling way behind on getting that up. I've got the responses, but I have not taken any steps forward on that. Wetland will be this summer again, I hope. Sale of the park, Kevin, I have it on the agenda.
Yep.
And ready is complete, that'll be done. We worked with a couple of folks. I wasn't really advised on what happened after they talked to us.
So there's no movement at this point?
Not through us. Maple Ridge Corner study, that's really all but complete. The final reports will be out. I think it's going to serve us well as we move forward with our study, the Medina strategic plan for the park. In fact, there's been a couple of studies that are completing now that's going to help us with that. I could use that as an excuse. That sounds pretty good. I just came through with that.
What was that?
That I was waiting for the one study to start the other study. If I hadn't already
We're waiting on a lot of things.
if I hadn't already thrown myself under the bus. And that's, Diane's got a report for the LDC. So that's kind of a really quick. Anybody?
Questions?
Anybody?
Okay, moving on, sale of the Albion Business Park. Anything more?
Yeah, I don't know. You want to do it? You want me to do it? All right, Evan and I have been working it. This week we got an email from John Bennett, who is the director of Jacasa, and said things are looking. We're getting through our paperwork. They wanted us to redraft the sale documents for May 31st, closing date, which will be about a year since we started that. But that's a plus because poor Evan has been dealing with their attorneys and it hasn't been. I'm just going to let that lay.
I think that's wise.
I think that's right. So anyways, even though it's 2 months out, it's a good thing. At least we got a closing date.
Still on track.
Still on track.
Good.
Questions? Moving on, RFQ.
Yeah, I kind of already covered that. Threw
Okay.
myself under the bus.
Diane, page 23, map and LDC report.
Okay, so the next class starts April 14th, runs through June 23rd. I'm into the interviewing process, and right now I've got 12 candidates. The revolving loan fund account in the HUD unrestricted has 12,551.33, and the money market 112,842.
Questions? Great, thank you. Moving on, legal, Kevin?
I guess the only thing I would report on is that there's some legislation that we're watching in Albany. Yeah, part of the budget bill, and there was a reference earlier to this new Article 23. The other part of that legislation the board should be aware of is there's some changes that, if that legislation is adopted, would impact IDAs. Because they're going to add renewable energy projects as a specific category of projects. And that'll affect, for example, how we do our cost benefit analysis.
Okay.
So we're watching the legislation, and we'll see if it carries through, and also watching some other bills as well.
Seems that quite often this time of year, we're watching proposed legislation coming out of Albany, isn't it?
Indeed,
The prevailing wage, you still got your eye on that whole process?
we do.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yep, good.
Anything else, Kevin?
No, sir.
Good, thank you very much. Marketing?
And I keep forgetting to ask Dina. I don't like the word marketing because we really, Mindful Media does a lot more for us, like
Right.
in what do I call emergency control or
We've used that lately.
Communications.
disaster control or
Communications.
end of the world control. So not only does she work websites and does our releases and our press releases and all that stuff, she all helped us, when it was crucial timing on the hotel. And, so I don't have anything else besides that. I'm going to change the marketing word to something else, and I haven't wordsmithed that yet. That's about it.
Okay, moving on, workforce development, Coronis readiness, our
I don't know if you guys are, we're ready. Obviously, we have our cleaning kit here, and, but we're ready if we have to do remote. Dan and I are pretty well set up between our phones, and our tablets, and our. We have a private network that we're able to access all our databases. I mean, we've gone through this before. If we had to pick up and move, we can do that fairly easy. Diane is a little more paper-based, but our plan would be, right now, if everybody was told to go home, that Gay and I would go home. We would put signs on the door, the office is closed, and then Diane would be the only one working in the office. So it kind of, it does what we need to be. It isolates the three of us, but Diane would probably be in the office right now. So that's if we're required to do something, but we're ready.
Okay.
And no one seems to have any problem contacting us at any time,
No,
whether it's after work or weekends or whatever.
Yeah.
They know that, we're pretty.
we can.
Oh.
Yeah, our office phones could be easily forwarded on. With mine, I can see who called anyways. I mean, so and same with Gabe. So we're ready.
Okay.
As far as the cleaning for the building, how does it?
I talked to down to the village.
Yeah.
Particularly this room, which
Yeah.
we has a lot, and obviously bathrooms and they're clean. So yeah, I mean, we're not huge on a lot of people coming in and out, but once in a while people use this room.
I was going to ask you, is this room used by other groups or organizations
Yes.
than us?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
So the right disinfectant has to be used in their cleaning process. We're gearing up in the county with products to meet the task and frequencies,
Yeah.
depending on volume. So it's
And so the village has to do the same thing.
correct. So make sure this room's, because it's used by different entities, that when one leaves and the other comes in, there's got to be some at least surface.
I think when you were away last time, there were other people using the, the
Yeah.
larger groups using it. And I think that's well in order that we have to.
So we asked to make sure that they were doing that, and
Okay.
They have it in their plans also.
Yeah.
The final thing is an LED display, and we've been talking about this with Kelly for 6 months or more.
Yes,
Some type of mobile, it's actually more than LED, some type of mobile communication, like a 4x8 thing on a trailer with a whatever that would allow us to move it to different places, saying, these, Brunner's having a, open job interviews, and when the hotel's hiring, you put it in front of the hotel, and the hotel has it. We take it over to Holly, and Precision Pack is hiring today, or any number of
or in front of the county, access road when there's,
yeah, or this is an IDA IDA project. When it starts construction, who is it and what, and who's doing it, and what, that type of thing. So we don't have any funds right now, and it's been put on hold, but Kelly is very interested in doing that to help with the workforce development and help, maybe generate a little in your face type stuff. But we don't think it's not an LED thing like Detour Ahead. It's a lot more, we're probably talking in the $20,000 to $25,000 thing. So it's a long-term project, but I kind of wanted to bounce it off you guys to see if you wanted, we think we should be participating with Kelly. I think it helps that that we and workforce development are together, maybe trying to get this unit. We did things like I talked to Pete Hauschnick. I said, look, if we had this thing, would you maintain it? Would you keep it in your barn? Would you drop it here? Would you drop it there? And somebody's here. So I don't know, Gabe,
sure.
you got it?
Sure.
Just an FYI. I don't know if it's something you guys would like us to continue to support and work with Kelly on.
Yeah,
So we pay a portion of it then?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know
maybe.
how the funding would work.
grants, we could pursue grants.
We
with
might
I was gonna
pursue-
say, are there any grants
Yeah,
out there?
there
or
is.
anything like that?
Oh, yeah. It'd be good to team up with Kelly because we
Yes.
can work on that end.
We could use it for both of us
Yes,
when we're doing projects.
Projects.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's
Yeah.
a village. It's a cleaning guy.
good.
Well, it's had it, but. So,
I like the partnership idea.
Yes.
okay, all right. So you'll hear us talking a little bit about it. But I'm not coming to you and say we ought to buy this now because I really
Diane will tell you.
don't have any money. So that's
Okay.
that.
Moving on, unfinished business. Any unfinished business? Seeing none, move on to new business, 2019 year-end report, page 24.
Okay, we do this every year. It's just kind of a summary of the projects. That type, I'm only showing one project, the Snappy deal, and I felt kind of like, God dang it, we had a busy year. Like I don't have anything to put down on paper, but if you look down through at the end of the bottom of page 24 and then going on, the identified projects and where they're at. I mean, we've been working on most of these projects for well over a year, some of them for 5 years, and finally, like we've been working the
Niagara
Yates-
Foods?
Niagara Foods forever.
Oh, my God.
And because we don't count it until they start hiring.
Yeah.
So even though we've been working in the hotel and we're doing this and that, now next year or this year, 2020 is going to look great. All these projects are going to come online. So anyways, that's kind of some basic numbers if you want to use them. What Diane collects, 1.5 million we collected in revenue from the pilots. And almost all that made it to the municipalities. No, just kidding, TV.
Wow, Kevin, you got your work.
Well, it's job security.
Yeah,
Oh, you got it.
with Whipple here, he's always got a job. Property development, just some basic stuff. You guys are all familiar with it. This particular report we use in the Paris report, the triple reporting.
Mhm.
It's just a required. It's just a good little.
It is. I've enjoyed them over the years, and
Yeah.
we are a little soft this year,
Yeah.
but we've got a lot of vision, and we've had a lot of projects, infrastructure-wise too, that Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
But I think you could say it's somewhat understated too, like tape form. I mean, we invested in 2018.
Yes.
And that spurred growth last year and
Yep.
and this year.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot, you're right, John. I mean, sometimes the year just doesn't kick in, it just doesn't meet I would love to have 20 or 30 jobs. Now next year, or this year, 2020, we'll probably have 50 or 60,
Oh, at least,
Yeah.
if this economy doesn't stays up. Yeah.
Right, Sean. Sean?
Yeah, I just got a question here, having to do with the Cobblestone Hotel. I see here 2019 is last year for the loan fund, and New York State had called the money back. Is that part of the reason why things?
No,
slowed
nothing.
No,
down?
there were no.
No,
This was, I don't know, it was their own, how all their financing worked with the hotel. This had nothing to do with it. This money's been in for a while. since last
So
year.
how much did you have to return to New York State?
Oh,
Ballpark figure.
million?
1.2, something
Yeah.
like that.
Is there a way? I go back to my education days. My first year in administration, we get our budgets for our departments and everything. And I figured, okay, I'm going to hang on to some of my money till the end of the school year, where I can then buy the supplies I need, especially in the science classrooms, for the fall. Well, the district said that, yeah, you got this money until the end of the year. Well, come March, bam, they yank all that money on you. Well, that was my first time and only time they yelled me. After that, I encumbered the funds. Is there a way, if you know about in advance, that you could have encumbered that 1.2?
This is one and done.
One-time event.
There was federal funding and state went across the whole state. I mean, they took
Yeah.
millions and millions of dollars back. And they were in revolving loan funds, a lot of it. And of course, that's just the nature of the beast. It was a revolving loan fund, so the money's there. And so we moved, we did save a lot of, opportunities for funding with,
About how many projects did we have? We were able to get 3 or 4 projects.
yeah,
would
we
you
moved
say?
3 or 4,
We-
5 loans.
We had an opportunity to try to keep that money.
Back to the local communities.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Holly got a chunk.
Yeah.
Um,
The
they're
ones
doing-
that stepped up,
Medina got some,
we got
yeah.
some, we were able
Albion.
to keep some money in your millions. Good question.
Good question. Thanks, Sean. Moving on, 2019 property report, page 27.
Same property report. The governance committee has recommended that the board adopt this property report.
Any discussion? If not, I'd be happy to entertain a motion to accept the 2019 property report. Skip, seconded by John. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Executive session. Do we have a need to move into executive
We
session?
do.
Mhm.
For the purpose of,
Will you frame that?
I think the motion would be with respect to the financial history, credit history of
Seems
financial information relative to Medina Hospitality. Do I have a motion? Sure. Skip, seconded by John. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. You can stick around.
One thing if I could, Gay and I, it was before, this is after the agenda. Gay and I met yesterday with Niagara County IDA and talking to them about their,
Land bank.
oh yeah, the land bank thing. And Chuck was involved in that with Lynn. And I don't really have any more than that, but I think there could be some synergy between us and Niagara County on the land bank. So I'm going to ask Lynn if maybe I can sit in with her. She sits on that.
She does.
So, and I guess Chuck would go with her on most of those. And I know that the county's in flux. So maybe temporarily, at least, depending on what county decides, at least I would go and also represent.
Fine,
on
fine,
that.
fine.
So
That's good.
that's
No
great.
problem. Yeah,
No,
no
That's
problem.
great.
Okay,
Perfect.
so
Any,
that's it.
any other business? Seeing none, happy to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
John, seconded by Ken, by saying aye,
Aye.
opposed nay, we are adjourned. I would like to call to order the governance committee for the Orleans